price, and really working every week, and sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. But you've paid the price, and you deserve to win a football game this weekend. But you're entitled to nothing, so they need to go out there and show up and play the best game they have to beat a good North Carolina State football team. So,
well, Kenny Pickett. After a week of practice, is there a plan for him specifically, or is it just see what the game brings?
There's a plan. You always got a plan. And on the quarterback note, Max Brown will be out for the season, for the rest of the entire season. He had surgery yesterday morning, and so we'll lose him for the year. And it's not a great thing for our program. It's not great for him, but he's hanging in there and he's good. But I just want to give you that update as well with the shoulder. Yes, sir. God, you got to get right. What would you think it was?
How difficult is that, Pat, to see a guy that came here to get his chance? And
it's difficult. I mean, again, it's difficult for anybody. I don't care if it's a senior that transferred in or a freshman. I mean, it's difficult anytime you lose a guy for a year. It's something he's worked hard for. It's an entire year goes into that. I mean, he had spring ball, he had fourth quarter. I mean, he had it all. Made a quick move from California, but it's hard on anybody when that happens. And it ended with a surgery. Not the way you want it planned out. So my heart goes out to him and his family.
What about the recovery time as far as the next level goes? When will we be able to start throwing and doing stuff again?
You're looking at maybe throw it in 7-8 weeks, I guess. I mean, that's without pushing it, probably. But
Pat, have you noticed is it? I'm trying to be delicate with how I ask this because what Max's feelings, but that it's easier for Ben, or Ben doesn't have to look over his shoulder. Have you noticed anything different with him this week?
He's just, I don't know if you see anything different with him or not, but, he knows he's the guy, but he knows Kenny Pickett is also a good football player. And I think competition makes everybody better, So, I don't think he was ever looking over his shoulder at Georgia Tech when he took his first start there. This will be his first start in Heinz Field. He's had a great week of practice. I like what I see out of him. I think he's prepared better, but I think you learn how to prepare as a starter. I think, your first start, you prepare and you think you did the best you could. And then when you get your second start, you go, man, I could have done it. Man, why didn't I do it like this before? And you know what? The third start, it'll be even better. I think you just build for the future. I think his preparation will get better every week. And I think naturally everybody thinks I was as prepared as I could have been. And the next week you're even more prepared. And I hope that's how you are for, it's just like taking a test, in the classroom. I think you get better prepared as you move on.
Do you feel like maybe there's a little bit with Ben where he's been around, he's played a little bit, he was a local kid, so people knew about him before. It's a little bit easy to lose sight that this is a redshirt sophomore who's going to be making his second start?
He's still a baby. Now, I know he'll probably get mad at me when I call him he's still a baby. He's still a young guy. And Kenny Pickett's even younger than that. I mean, you look at the pains that Florida State's going through, the true freshman quarterback down there. That's a good football team that's that's struggled. I mean, that's a key position to lose an experienced guy. But even Max is a young guy when you think about his experience as a starting quarterback. But he's an older, more mature person that studied the game and really prepared like a pro, I think. Ben is still a young guy. We can't lose track of that for sure.
Assuming that, which I'm sure you are, that Ben plays well and you turn this thing around, how do you find meaningful snaps for the other guy?
We have to. That's kind of our thoughts going in, is just telling Ben, hey, this is what we're going to try to do, and try to stick with that plan. And sometimes you have a plan going in, and sometimes the plans change. So whatever the plan is, we try to stick to it, but sometimes the plans change too.
So you mean you're telling Ben that there might be times that Kenny comes in for him?
I'm not telling you that yet. I'm just saying we have a plan, and we'll see how the plan goes. But we'll see.
When it comes to Kenny, is there a quarterback that you've seen over the years that he kind of reminds you of in terms of style and just the ability to pick up, the offense and an opposing defense? I mean, that's the one thing Sean brought up yesterday, just his football acumen.
Until you go in there and play, that's all great. What you did in the classroom and what you saying, hey, I know what's going on here. I don't want to sit there and say, Ben's the guy that's been out there doing it. Let's focus on really what Ben is right now. If Pickett gets his opportunity, we'll find out what he's got too. But to me, you're defined on game day when you step in the arena. What you've done in the classroom, what you've done out here in the practice field means nothing until you stepped in that arena, I think. Let's just stick to the facts, really.
sort of on that topic, do you feel like sometimes players at this level get sort of, I don't know, branded by the way they were recruited? Like, oh, this was a 4-star kid and he had these big offers, and this guy was a JUCO kid, and so he can't possibly be as good as this other guy.
Ask Chris this question then. There's some peek out right there.
But a lot of times that's not the way it goes, right?
No, it's not the way at all, and that's why we don't try to recruit stars, or you're trying to look for character and what's in the chest cavity there. But yeah, guys definitely do. I mean, that's what everybody says they are, and that's really not who they are. And if you look on those Super Bowl rosters of how many 4-stars, there's a heck of a lot more 3-stars that are sitting out there because of the work they put in and the chip maybe they had on their shoulder to get there. But guys definitely get labeled by that because that's the world we're in. But do we believe that? No. What is the deal?
Okay.
Gotcha.
I feel like what Jordan has done, has that inspired or added competition for your tailbacks to kind of see the success he's had? Because he's come into games when there have been struggles running, and he's been able to find yards.
If I was a tailback and I can't, I don't go in there and say, hey, so how do you guys feel about this? And, that's something that they've got to feel, and I don't go in and dig. But if I was a tailback and I was watching number 9 go in there and run like he does, I'd be saying, you don't need to put him in there. I can do the same thing. So I'd take it as a challenge, and it would get my motor going. I can tell you that. So we'll see what happens.
I know when you guys signed Jordan, there was a thought that he could be a safety or a cornerback, depending on what he did in high school. But did you ever, when you first saw him or watched his film, think this guy might be able to be a running back too at the college level?
No doubt about it. And that's why it's not. This is not the first year he's carried the ball. I think in his rookie year, didn't he have 2 touchdowns against Notre Dame? So
yeah.
I mean, we thought that all along that he could do that. But to me, it's still getting the guy's feet situated and being good at this, and then move to the next thing. And we felt like we needed him on defense. But he's smart enough and mature enough to be able to take on that extra tailback role, and we just got to be sure we don't overload him.
Do you have to? I mean, does some of that depend on how the other safeties play then? Like if Bryson and DeMar go out there and look like they can do the job, does that lead you to think then, all right, maybe we can give Jordan some more offense?
They're gonna have some opportunities as well as Dennis Briggs. We just got to make sure we're going to be counting his reps tomorrow or Saturday. And on what we get defensively. It depends on if it's a 98 play game like Syracuse and they're up in the tempo, then we've got to be careful. We just can't go too far on one or the other. And again, we trust Dennis Briggs back there in the boundary safety. He's played a lot of football for us. He's tough, he's physical, and he's a leader of this football team. So we got a lot of faith in him too.
NC State doesn't play as much tempo as you've seen in the past, right?
No, they're not as fast a tempo. I mean, they'll probably have 15 snaps a game, maybe under 20 seconds from our gauge. They had a lot of tempo in their opener against South Carolina, maybe 17 snaps, and they've tailed it back. But we're prepared for 15 to 20. I don't think it's what they want to do, but they'll have some quick snaps. They'll have an outside zone that they're going to quick snap it. They'll have a couple pass concepts, so they'll have some fastballs somewhere in the 15-second range, under 20.
Has their quarterback Finley, I mean, has he even had any potential interceptions dropped, or has he just been that accurate?
He's had a couple. He's had a couple that maybe could have been picked off, but he's smart with the football. He really is. Someone mentioned he reminds you of a Peterman. He's just a smart guy that doesn't turn it over and understands how important that is to a football team. So he's a team guy. He's not worried about his stats. Where I think I can put it in there, that ego of trying to squeeze a ball into coverage. So. And again, he's well coached. So whether he's really that smart and doesn't have an ego, or he's really, really well coached.
Behind Jester, you guys have some pretty inexperienced receivers before this year. How have those guys kind of come along the last couple of weeks when it comes to details, route running, that sort of thing?
The guy you really miss, is Trey Tipton. To be honest with you, as you guys know, Trey Tipton was really your number 2 guy a year ago coming in. But Aaron Matthews has gotten better, I think, every week. Maurice French is getting better. We got to find a way to still get the ball into number 10's hands. But I think they grow every week. I think, and that's our job as coaches, to make sure they continue to grow every week and get a little bit better, as opposed to fade away on you. And I think it's important to them, and I think they've shown that in practice every week. I mean, you look at what Raphael's doing, catching the football, and those other guys see that going. I can do the same thing. So they got to be great blockers tomorrow as well. So I think blocking is important too.
What's been the biggest challenge getting Quadri involved in the offense?
you know, just them taking away some of the jet sweeps. I think, you know, just by alignment, sometimes they're taking them away, and you would hope that would open up some of your inside game, but it's really taking away the jet sweeps with some alignments and then slanting the D line towards where the zone goes. I mean, there's some of that stuff going on. So we'll see. We've got maybe some new stuff in this week for that.
Your defense has taken some positive strides since early in the season. What are some of the specific things that you're doing now?
You know, to me, you're only as good as what you are last Saturday, and that's where we are. You know, there's, you know, just I think, you know, we're a young defense, and we've got 2 seniors out there. You know, one starting all the time, and Avonte Maddox as a full-time starter. But you know, I think they've paid attention to details, and you know, but you know, we're still not where we want to be. So I can't sit here and say we made all these strides, Jerry. Wish I could. I want to get better.
When you say you're not where you want to be, where did you want to be at this point when you were looking at this in the summer?
You know, I want a firmer run defense. You know, I'm happy with where our corners are. I guess maybe if you said, you know, what am I happy with? You know, safeties were still not. I guess when Jordan's come back, it's made it a little bit better. But you know, corners have played pretty good football. You know, we're young up front with those new. I mean, you got everybody up front's brand new. You know, Sean Ado was the only guy really that played football a year ago. So you look at the front 7. So we're still a work in progress, and you know, and I think they've done some good things, you know, weekly. But it takes time to get what we want, and we're, you know, looking for perfection, and we're not there yet.
Did the linemen, did they play better at Syracuse, or did
Which
they just
one?
the defensive linemen, did they play better at Syracuse, or it just seemed like they got in the backfield more with blitzes, or am I just making that up?
They played okay. They played okay. Not as good as we wanted to. You know, they could have been better. I guarantee you that they need to be better. So they did get in the backfield with some blitzes and some different things that we did that maybe was a little bit different. But you can't trick them all the time. Right? You got to play good fundamentals.
What have you seen from Rashad Weaver? It seems like there's some really eye-catching kind of plays, and then sometimes there's 5 plays where you don't see anything. Is that kind of what you're looking for, more consistency?
Yeah,
out of him?
redshirt freshman. I mean, I like what I see at him. And he had another great week of practice. You know, when some of those plays you wish you would have got an interception. He's so smart. First of all, he gets into the flow of the game. He understands what's going on, and he almost got a pick on a bubble, which we talked about during the week. And you know, he told me he was going to score a touchdown on it, but you know, you had to catch it for first. You know, it's pregame, but he's a smart guy, and he's done some great things. As a young guy, I think he's going to be a great player for us in the future. But he's good right now. We're trying to go good to great.
Any final for Coach?
Nothing.